afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 now. There's 4 o'clock. Started a little bit early today. We got a lot of things to cover, so let's get started.
And we're going to be taking your pet calls, by the way, so be thinking about that later this hour.
That's right. All right. Here's what's making news on this Thursday. We continue to follow the fallout in Washington after the Capitol was assaulted by people supporting President Trump.
Here in Wisconsin, extra security is on hand at the state capitol after yesterday's chaos in D.C.
And amid all the turmoil in Washington, it's important to remember the ongoing pandemic, an update from health officials as the country sees another deadly day. But right now, we start in Washington, where the U.S. Capitol was under siege at this time yesterday. A dramatically different scene this afternoon with extensive security throughout the city. President Trump has remained behind closed doors today and still has not condemned his supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol yesterday. CBS News has confirmed that some Trump cabinet officials have discussed invoking the 25th Amendment to remove the president 2 weeks before the inauguration. Even allies are blaming the president for stoking the violence.
The most immediate route would be the vice president to recognize the danger of the Donald Trump presidency and take this action. A. B, my members are very much interested, as are, my phone is exploding with impeach, impeach, impeach. But president must be held accountable.
The president needs to understand that his actions were the problem, not the solution.
Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao resigned from her position today, citing yesterday's violence as the reason for stepping down. While the cleanup continues on Capitol Hill, questions remain about how the protesters could make it into the Capitol in the first place and why the police were not better prepared to handle the planned protests. Wisconsin State Patrol was on hand in Madison today as lawmakers met to pass a bill on COVID-19.
Our Amy Reed is live at the Capitol to explain how legislators responded to the violence yesterday. Amy?
Well, there were plenty of Capitol Police on hand keeping watch over the doors as lawmakers were inside the Assembly chambers. The Department of Administration, which is the agency over the police force, said they couldn't share anything about their security protocols or any potential threats. But inside, lawmakers took on the issue that was rampant in D.C. yesterday, passing a resolution condemning political violence. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said he's not just talking about the insurrection, but also vandalism we saw in Kenosha and Madison.
And when I saw yesterday, it's disgusting. That's the only word that comes to mind. I'm proud to be an American. I am proud that we have a system in a republic that, we have checks and balances on the system. There are things that I still have concerns about with the way the election was conducted, but Joe Biden's now our president. The system is working.
The resolution passed on a voice vote unanimously. After the session, reporters asked Vos what role President Trump had in all this, and he said people are responsible for their own actions. And though we've seen some Democrats here in Wisconsin write to Vice President Mike Pence asking him to invoke the 25th Amendment, today Vos said simply, that's not up to him.
Amy Reed reporting live at the Capitol for us. Amy, thank you. We are coming up on the 10-year anniversary of when protesters who opposed Governor Walker's Act 10 proposals descended on the state capitol. But it was more than 50 years ago when dozens upset with budget cuts to welfare recipients broke down the doors of the Assembly chambers. Led by Catholic priest and civil rights activist James Groppe, the group was finally cleared from the chambers by police 17 hours later. The Assembly declared him in contempt, and he spent 10 days in jail until a federal judge ruled the Assembly violated his rights.
There are just 13 days remaining in this administration, but today, as we said, there are calls for President Trump to once again be impeached or for the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment, removing him from office. All 4 living former presidents expressed their outrage. George W. Bush called the attack on the Capitol an insurrection, saying in a statement, "I am appalled by the reckless behavior of some political leaders since the election. This is how election results are disputed in a banana republic, not our democratic republic." President Trump's former defense secretary, General James Mattis, directly blamed President Trump for the violence, predicting Mr. Trump will deservedly be left a man without a country. The events in Washington, D.C. yesterday have left a lot of us with questions.
Joining us now is UW journalism professor and political expert Mike Wagner to help explain what's going on now. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being with us today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So we have less than 2 weeks before the new president takes office. What can we expect for the next 13 days? What are things going to look like?
Boy, your guess is as good as mine. I, would not have predicted 2 weeks ago that we would have had an insurrection at the Capitol while the Electoral College votes were being certified. So we, normally would be having conversations about what the Biden administration's policy priorities were going to be, talking about the qualifications for the people he would like to be in his cabinet and other major posts. We would be talking about the legacy of the outgoing president. But instead, I think we're talking about the possibility that the president might be removed from office by the constitutionally with the 25th Amendment, or via another impeachment and potential removal, or running out the clock over the next 13 days in an environment where reportedly the president has barred the chief of staff for the vice president from the White House.
Mike, how would you characterize what the last 24 hours have meant for our democracy? Was this a test?
It's a test. It's been chilling and scary and appalling and angering and utterly unsurprising, given that the president himself, told people to go to the Capitol and try to give courage to what he called weak Republicans who weren't totally on board with his scheme to pretend that he somehow won an election that he verifiably lost. So it's very sad for people. I know a lot of the folks who I work with, both here at the university and around the country, who teach democracy and communication and journalism to students. People are very distressed at what's happening. It's, as President Bush said, it's an insurrection. As one of our own Wisconsin Congress members said, it's something that happens in a banana republic. It's not something that we've come to expect or had been taught was possible. And I guess it reminds us that democracy is fragile, and free and fair elections require that people who lose elections gracefully concede. Democracy is for the people who lose elections, because there's always another one. You don't need to work to install yourself as a bizarre, undemocratic strongman. You can just run for election again and try to persuade the voters next time.
Some people, though, were not surprised by the events that happened yesterday.
That's right. The president has been talking since before the election, since before his first election, about how he would not trust results that didn't show him as the winner. He continues to make false claims about the election, an election where the votes were counted, recounted, and adjudicated more than 4 dozen times, where each time we learned that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the election fair and square. When people working for the president would go on TV and make outrageous claims, they would somehow not make outrageous claims, when they would then have to go into a court of law where they were under oath or facing professional sanctions for making stuff up. And so they didn't do it there, and that's why they lost in court. But it's not surprising that this happened, because the president and his Republican enablers in Congress and in state governments have told people lies. Just as Senator Romney said last night, leaders need to tell people the truth, and the leaders of the party that lost the presidential election need to tell their voters the truth. The president lost.
All right, we'll hold our breath for the next 13 days, and hopefully we'll have a transfer of power. Mike, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure.
The events in Washington yesterday did not go unnoticed around the world. German Chancellor Angela Merkel took aim at President Trump, saying he is partly responsible for the violence because he failed to accept his election defeat. NATO Secretary General tweeted, "The outcome of this democratic election must be respected." America's allies called it an assault on democracy.
American democracy has always inspired me. Lawlessness and violence are the opposite of the values we know Americans and Israelis cherish.
In London, Britain's prime minister called the scene at the U.S. Capitol disgraceful and said there must be a peaceful and orderly transition of power. America's enemies like the chaos, with Iran's president saying it proves what a failure Western democracy is. We will continue to follow the events in Washington and the response here in Wisconsin and elsewhere. Continue to follow News 3 Now and Channel3000.com. Let's take a look outside. Oh, is that a pretty shot? A little drone shot of all the frost on the trees. Maybe a little less fog tonight. Gary Canulti's in the backyard. with the details on that, Gary.
Well, Mark, yeah, we've had the same forecast for about the last 4 or 5 days. The only difference is I think the fog should probably be a little less widespread and perhaps a little less thick. But you can see there's still plenty of clouds around. That's not going to change. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison showing mostly cloudy skies, but not much in the way of fog. Visibility is right now down to about 5 miles in Monroe and Janesville. Elsewhere, visibilities are at or above 5 miles, most cases at or above 10 miles, indicating very little fog. Temperatures right now, upper 20s to around 30 degrees. It's about as warm as they've been all day. Look for cloudy skies tonight. There'll be some fog, maybe a little patchy freezing fog. Hopefully not as widespread. There are no fog advisories in effect right now. And look for a low temperature of about 21. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, maybe a little fog or freezing fog in the morning. High temperature at 28 degrees. And the clouds will continue for at least a couple of more days before we see at least some better chances for sun early next week. As we take a look at first warning traffic, no problems right now on the Beltline. Just a little bit of a slowdown southbound on US 12 approaching the area around Highway K. Otherwise, on the Beltline, normal travel times either direction, about 15 minutes between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, 26 minutes from the Beltline southward to Janesville on I-3990. If you're going to Sauk City on US 12, it'll take you 15 minutes from Middleton, and from downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. It's a 17-minute commute. That's your News 3 Now first warning traffic.
Gary, thank you. In coronavirus news, Madison-Dane County Public Health Director Janelle Heinrich says we may be seeing the start of the post-holiday surge of COVID-19 cases. Nearly 3,900 more people in Wisconsin tested positive for the virus within the last day. The state will likely surpass 500,000 total cases since the pandemic began late last winter. 56 more people have died from the virus in Wisconsin. And the U.S. hit yet another grim milestone in the coronavirus pandemic.
The CDC is warning the nation could exceed 430,000 deaths by the end of the month, and top U.S. health officials are now encouraging states to start vaccinating people more wildly. Chris Martinez reports from Los Angeles.
As Illinois surpassed 1 million confirmed cases of COVID-19, health officials in Cook County continued to administer doses of the vaccine.
We who are responsible for medical facilities and we who work in them have to take the lead in showing people that it's safe.
Frustration has been mounting nationwide over the slow pace of the rollout, which has people like Ben Schinkel of Florida waiting in long lines.
I don't know what's happening with all these vaccines they say they have when so few are getting administered.
Authorities in parts of Michigan say they're making shots available to dentists, as well as workers from home health agencies. In New York, hospitals could soon face fines for not using their vaccines fast enough. California has now reached 2.5 million cases of coronavirus. More than 11,000 people have died just here in Los Angeles County since the pandemic began. LA County leaders say on average 200 people a day are dying from COVID. Some people are going to great lengths to cheat the system and get vaccinated.
We've had people, I'm not sure why, think it's a good idea to go ahead and post how people can go in and try to subvert the system. Please don't take a slot away from a healthcare worker.
Right now, only frontline healthcare workers in LA County and seniors at assisted living facilities like 97-year-old Ann Johnson are eligible for vaccinations.
They tell me that I'm at risk because of my age.
Moderna's chief executive says its vaccine could offer protection against COVID-19 for up to a couple of years. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Over 3,800 Americans lost their lives to the virus yesterday, bringing the overall U.S. death toll to more than 361,000 folks. Well, still to come at 4, are you looking for an off-road vehicle? And we mean really off-road.
Well, then you'll want to check out our Behind the Wheels segment. Harvey Briggs has the Land Rover Defender 110. I love the name of that. That's coming up when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Being a good father is important to me. So being diagnosed with advanced non-small cell lung cancer made me think of all the things that I wanted to teach my kids. My doctor said I could start on Keytruda, so I did. With each scan, things just got better.
In a clinical study, Keytruda offered patients a longer life than chemotherapy, and it could be your first treatment. For non-small cell lung cancer that has spread, Keytruda can be used for adults who test positive for PD-L1 and whose tumors do not have an abnormal EGFR or ALK gene. Keytruda is not chemotherapy. It's the immunotherapy used to treat more patients with advanced lung cancer than any other. Keytruda helps your immune system fight cancer, but can also cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of your body. This can happen during or after treatment and may be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you have new or worse cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain or tenderness, nausea or vomiting, rapid heartbeat, increased hunger or thirst, constipation, dizziness or fainting, changes in urine or eyesight, muscle pain or weakness, joint pain, confusion or memory problems, fever, rash, itching, or flushing. These are not all the possible side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems, if you've had an organ transplant, had or plan to have a stem cell transplant, or have lung, breathing, or liver problems.
Before, I'd think of the stuff I might miss. But now with Keytruda, we have hope.
Living longer is possible. It's true. Keytruda from Merck. Ask your doctor about Keytruda.
When it comes to 2020, it's time to wipe the slate clean and get a fresh start now at Herzing University. Earn the degree you need for a lasting career. Herzing is accredited, transfer-friendly, and offers you the personal care and support so important during these times. We'll even waive your enrollment fee. A new year, a new career. You've got a clean slate. I'm possible at Herzing. Call or click today.
For the pets you love, well, you gotta get down to Mouse Pet Food Warehouse, where your Tyler goes to help so many pets in town. Mouse Pet Food Warehouse. We raise money for farm animals in need and our friends living in the zoo. We feed rescue dogs and shelter cats and police canines too. Mouse Pet Food Warehouse powers them all. And don't forget your free Mounds candy bar.
We drive everywhere to help our son reach his dream of becoming an elite swimmer. So we enrolled in the Know Your Drive program with American Family Insurance. It gives us discounts for safe driving and other benefits, like emergency roadside service, which comes in handy, no matter where his dreams take him. With Know Your Drive, save up to 20% and get closer to your dreams. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
On Wall Street, traders looked beyond.
I'll get it, Susan. On Wall Street,
Are we on? I'm sorry, I didn't get. I'm having quite a day this afternoon. Sorry about that, Mark. Go ahead.
On Wall Street, traders looked beyond the riots in Washington and ahead to possible more stimulus under the incoming Biden administration. Records were set across the board. The Dow Industrials gained 211 points, closing at 31,041. The NASDAQ was up 326 points, or 2.5%. The S&P 500 added 55. Again, all records.
Thank you. Thank you for your help. Sorry about that. In the world of off-road vehicles, the Land Rover Defender is legendary. Sales in the U.S. stopped in the 1990s because of safety standards.
But the British car maker reintroduced the Defender here in 2020. It's a kinder and gentler Defender, but just as off-road capable of the Defenders of old. The cult should be happy. Let's check this beast out as we go behind the scenes, behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs. The Defender.
Defender, yes.
What are we defending?
We are defending the right to go anywhere we want because this thing will go anywhere.
And that's not hyperbole. Our tester is the Defender 110 with 3-liter gas hybrid motors. There's also a Model 90 with just 2 doors. The Defender is legendary. Land Rover provided video of this off-roader in action. The Defender is no pretender.
They were actually developed in 1948 as a light truck farm vehicle, but they became sort of the ultimate British adventure vehicle. And if you go into Africa and Asia, into the Himalayas and things like that, they use these vehicles to go deeper and further than anyone did before.
Our adventure in the station's backyard wasn't quite so adventurous. This little bit of snow is no match for this thing. Everything about the Defender is rugged.
This rack, interesting thing, this rack is designed to hold 660 pounds. So you can put a big camping tent up here and sleep 3 on the roof of this car. If you're out in the jungle and you want to stay above the snakes, they have all of these accessories that you can hang off the side of these, because that's, again, part of the legacy of the design is people would hang different storage off the side for either gear or fuel.
And you'll need that extra fuel. The Defender gets about 17 miles a gallon. What is this thing?
The snorkel is also, this is an air intake, so that when you go deep into the water, or if you're in dusty environments, this faces backwards so it won't suck dust into the air intake, which would obviously ruin the engine.
This off-roader can wade through 3 feet of water. It's something else.
Yeah, it is. And it a nice big heavy door with a big heavy tire on the side. You'll notice too with the floors, the materials are very easy to clean. It's almost like you can hose this thing out if you want to.
Harvey did get a chance to take the Defender up north to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, he had a blast.
But I was on some fire roads with a lot of snow and, some fairly deep crossings, and it's like nothing. It was in its way.
And it shouldn't. Our test Defender loaded, stickers at $79,000. Base price is around $50K.
You can get yourself a really nice BMW for that money, or you can buy something like this. It's a little more rugged and adventurous, and it takes all kinds. And this is for that kind of automotive buyer.
And you know who you are.
That's right.
Harvey joins us now from the Rides and Drives World Headquarters on Madison's West Side. Harvey, you love this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good at what it does. It's so designed specifically to be that great off-roader. There are only probably 3 vehicles that are really in this class when you think about it. It's the Jeep Wrangler and the new Ford Bronco that's on its way. But other than that, there's really nothing that can do what these can do.
The snorkel is something. Do most people buy this car for that purpose, or is it sort of more of a status symbol?
I'm sure there are a lot of them on the streets of LA that are, letting people know that they think they're rugged and like to go off. But yeah, I think like a lot of Jeeps, they will not see the trails, certainly not the kind of trails that this is capable of doing. They might go up into the mountains or something on a weekend that frankly you could do in a Subaru Outback.
And it's not bad on the highway either. Pretty good ride.
Yeah, that was the thing that surprised me the most. Even with off-road tires, it was pretty quiet, and the ride, because of the air suspension, was very good. But you are compromising mileage. Like I said, I got around 17 miles per gallon the time that I had it. So if you're going to be on road all the time, but you want something that looks and feels rugged, there are a number of other choices out there. This is really for if you want to get off-road, if you're going to do some adventure camping, that type of stuff. That's what this vehicle is great at.
The Defender. Go to ridesanddrives.com for more on this and all the cars we drive. Harvey, we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Well, still to come at 4 when the day comes and you can return to dining in a restaurant, things may look different.
We'll find out how some restaurant chains are adapting during the pandemic. That's coming up after Gary's First Warn forecast.
Nicorette knows quitting smoking is freaking hard. You get advice like, just stop. Get a hobby. You should meditate. Oh, eat crunchy foods. Go for a run. Go for 10 runs. Run a marathon. Are you kidding me? Instead, start small with Nicorette, which can lead to something big. Start stopping with Nicorette.
The day after chemo might mean a trip back to the doctor's office, just for a shot. But why go back there when you can stay home? With Neulasta Onpro, strong chemo can put you at risk of serious infection. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Neulasta Onpro is designed to deliver Neulasta the day after chemo and is used by most patients today.
Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to it, or Neupogen, filgrastim. An incomplete dose could increase infection risk. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal, as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
If you'd rather be home, ask your doctor about Neulasta Onpro. Pay no more than $5 per dose with copay card.
Spread holiday cheer and save more than ever at the Century House. Right now, give $50 or more to charity and get $400 off stressless Mayfair recliners in all Paloma leather colors and $300 off most other stressless recliners. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. 'Tis the season to give a little and save big on stressless furniture. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
The forecast calls for a messy commute. The Ford lineup helps keep you in command. Intelligent four-wheel drive monitors traction, and a terrain management system adapts to road conditions at the turn of a knob, so you're ready to take on the elements with confidence. Power through the storm in a new Ford Explorer, now with 0% financing for 72 months, plus $4,250 bonus cash. See your Wisconsin dealer today.
So I can get the latest phones free with no hidden requirements?
Yep, all season long.
And do I have to get the most expensive plan?
Nope, no plan restrictions.
Okay, but we have to trade in our phones.
Right?
Right?
Nope, keep your phones.
Did you say free phone?
Yep, the latest phone's free for you.
Okay,
Switch to U.S. Cellular and get the latest phones free, available all season long with no hidden requirements. U.S. Cellular, upgrade to fair.
Well, take a look at this.
Here we go. So he said he was going to challenge me a bit more. I don't know.
Pavel Barber is a hockey instructor in Canada, and this video is a good advertisement for his ability. He's on skates being challenged to control a hockey puck with obstacles coming right at him on a fast-moving belt. He shows his impressive skills by dodging cones, a basketball, a mop, even a chair. It's almost like a hockey video game playing out right in front of your eyes. That's some talent. It's like Gary getting the forecast ready.
You know, I'll tell you something. If you ever want to see a good hockey video, there's one with Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks. He has all these hockey pucks around, and he literally takes the puck and just kind of winds it around the pucks that are on the ice. Really? Unbelievable. Hockey players with that kind of talent, I just have so much respect for.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, well, we've got fog still in the forecast, but not as dense, not as widespread. The clouds, though, they're not going to move out of here. Our first warm forecast is coming up in a couple of minutes.
How about poor Fred Wilson?
What a shame. So soon after retiring.
I hear his wife needed help with the funeral expenses.
That's ridiculous. He had Social Security.
When my brother died, his wife received a check from Social Security, all right, for $255. The funeral costs were well over $8,000. How on earth did she pay for it? Fortunately, my brother bought additional life insurance before he retired. I bet that cost a pretty penny, huh? Not with Colonial Penn. Coverage options start at just $9.95 a month. Well, less than 35 cents a day. I have it myself.
We both do.
Both of you?
That's right. Neither of us had to answer any health questions or take a physical exam. In fact, no one our age can be turned down for any health reason.
No one?
Nope.
Is this a plan that offers a lot of protection at first and then reduces it little by little each year?
No. I've had this coverage for years. My benefit never decreases as I get older.
Your rates go up every year, right?
No, not at all.
Friends keep telling friends about guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance from Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. With this coverage, your premium never increases for any reason, and your benefit won't decrease simply because you grow older. Options start at just $9.95 a month. If you're age 50 to 85, you cannot be turned down because of your health. Colonial Penn specializes in protection for mature men and women. To find out more, call now.
Call now and you'll also get this free beneficiary planner and this free prescription savings card that can help you save up to 80% on prescription drugs. Call 1-800-797-8989 for your free information and 2 free gifts. There's no risk. That number again is 1-800-797-8989. Call now.
So, how's saving for the renovation going?
All done.
I will never understand how you do it.
Easy. She saves with BMO Harris. We give you a cash reward for every month you save.
So BMO will give me cash for saving money?
You bet.
Can the subject hold position 2, please?
How's this?
That's art.
That makes saving look good.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect. Get a $5 reward every month you save $200 or more in a new BMO Statement Savings account.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I had the day off yesterday, and the weather was cloudy, and guess what? It's still cloudy today. There's the view from the WISC TV Skycam looking out toward the east. Get used to it. Clouds are going to stick around at least through the weekend, and there'll be some fog, mainly at night and in the morning hours through Saturday morning, but it shouldn't be as widespread. It shouldn't be as dense. There might be patches of freezing fog in there, but a lot of the roads have been treated now, so hopefully the road conditions should be okay. Still looking at dry weather through the middle of next week. No snow in the forecast through Wednesday. Next chance of snow will be Thursday afternoon into Friday. That'll be followed by a shot of colder weather, especially as we head toward next weekend. We'll have a breeze as well, so wind chills will also become a factor at that time. But take a look at the last 48 hours, and you can see temperatures were in the upper teens, and they climbed into the 20s, and they've just kind of stayed there for the last 36 hours. Wind chills haven't been much of a factor because there's not much of a breeze. That's why we have the fog, but the benefit is you don't have the wind chills. And over the next 48 hours, look where the temperature line is, kind of in the same area, in the 20s, upper teens at night, and the wind chills, for the most part, staying above 10 degrees. So by winter standards, it's really not all that bad if you can eliminate the fog. Right now, the thickest fog is to the west of us in Minnesota and Iowa, but not very thick. Visibility is between about 2 and 5 miles. Across Wisconsin, most of the major reporting stations in northern and eastern Wisconsin reporting very little in the way of fog. Western and southern parts of the state have a little more fog, but even there, the visibilities are pretty good. As we look at snow depth, you can see widespread snow cover across the Midwest, and with temperatures close to the freezing mark, we can sometimes melt a little bit of that snow, or at least add some moisture to the air. That's why we have the fog, but we don't have as much warming, so we're not melting a lot of snow, and the winds are starting to pick up, at least aloft. To the south, a pretty big storm system. That's the one that was to the west of us a couple of days ago, took that southerly path. You can see snow as far north as St. Louis, but right now we're missing out on that. It's just spreading the clouds in from the south, and you can see those. So even when we don't have the fog, we're dealing with the clouds. Forecast for tomorrow calls for a high temperature of 28 degrees. We'll see some fog, maybe a little patchy freezing fog tonight into tomorrow morning, and we'll kind of repeat the process again for Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures, upper 20s for the weekend. Still staying in the mid to upper 20s early next week. Maybe we'll see a little more sunshine mixed in with the clouds, and then as we head toward the latter part of the week, a weather system, kind of an Alberta Clipper type storm that could bring some light snow from Thursday afternoon into Friday, but notice the temperatures turn colder. Middle 20s expected as we head toward next weekend. Maybe another chance of snow toward the end of next weekend, but neither of those storms right now looks to be particularly intense, so we're not looking at much in the way of accumulating snow around here.
Nice and quiet. All right, Gary, thank you.
You're welcome.
The pandemic has forced restaurants to adapt.
And now some major chains are accelerating plans to redesign their stores completely. Elise Preston reports.
There's something missing from Chipotle's latest restaurant outside of New York City. The menu is the same, but customers can't eat inside this location. The kitchen offers pickup and delivery only. Orders are made and paid for with an app.
We're calling it our digital kitchen. It's the first of its kind.
Chipotle CFO Jack Hartung says plans for the store were made before the pandemic, but coronavirus shutdowns make this model a good option for urban areas with lots of people and less space.
The vast majority of our sites are still going to have a dining room. If we have an area, for example, where it's very difficult to get the size restaurant we need to have a dining room, we know now we can bring a restaurant like this that's a digital kitchen.
The digital age is making fast food even faster. Some Chipotle locations have a lane specifically for pre-orders, and others even offer a pickup window.
You'll also see changes at some new Starbucks, like this one in Manhattan. Over the next year, the company plans to close hundreds of dine-in stores and open locations that are pickup only.
The coronavirus pandemic has accelerated trends that were already on their way to greater adoption.
Food trend expert Karen Nielsen says many fast food chains are redesigning stores to provide a faster experience with less contact. This year, Burger King and others will unveil restaurants with a second drive-through lane and mobile ordering pickup.
We'll definitely see more of this, and we're going to see more types of operators and restaurant chains adopt this.
Chipotle plans to open more digital stores, and for good reason. Around half of all customer purchases are now made on an app or online. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
The new normal, I guess.
The new world, yep.
We'll be right back.
The ups and downs of frequent mood swings can take you to deep depressive lows, or give you unusually high energy, even when depressed. Overwhelmed by bipolar 1? Ask about Vraylar. Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar effectively treats depression, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults. Full spectrum relief for all bipolar 1 symptoms with just one pill once a day. Elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol and weight gain, high blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, may occur. Movement dysfunction, sleepiness, and stomach issues are common side effects. When bipolar 1 overwhelms, Vraylar helps smooth the ups and downs.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
For the pets you love, well, you gotta get down to Mouse Pet Food Warehouse, where your toddler goes to help so many pets in town. Mouse Pet Food Warehouse. We raise money for farm animals in need, and our friends living in the zoo. We feed rescue dogs and shelter cats, and police canines too. Mouse Pet Food Warehouse powers them all. And don't forget your free Mounds candy bar.
Dear Winter, I'm coming. My squad of 15 vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of my game, so you better bundle up. Toyota.
Right now, get $1,500 customer cash on a new 2021 Highlander Hybrid. Visit Toyota.com to learn more. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Tonight at 5, Wisconsin lawmakers have passed a resolution condemning political violence one day after mobs of people stormed the nation's capital. The latest from the state capitol at 5.
The weather won't change very much over the next few days with mostly cloudy skies through Sunday. The fog might not be as widespread as time goes on. My first one forecast at 5.
And ahead tonight on News 3 Now at 6, renewed calls for impeachment and invoking the 25th Amendment. We will hear from local experts to see if this is a realistic possibility at 6. The old weather satellite a spin, we end up in New York City. It's the Brooklyn Bridge. Boy, that is a beautiful shot. Love New York. Well, there are tough questions today for law enforcement about their handling of the pro-Trump violence at the Capitol.
The police response is also being criticized by civil rights leaders as a double standard. Jeff Pegues reports from Washington.
Police were no match for the swarm of protesters that stormed the steps of the Capitol, breached the doors, and marched through the halls of Congress.
It appeared to me
that the response outside was slow.
Terry Gaynor is a former chief of the U.S. Capitol Police, who estimated that half to three-quarters of some of the 2,300 Capitol Hill police officers were prepared. He says the force may have underestimated the potential of this protest.
The cavalry should have been coming to get those people the hell off the steps and the platforms, but that would have been very, very ugly and difficult to do if you didn't have superior force.
Social media video from Wednesday's event appears to show Trump supporters entering a security perimeter with little resistance from officers. In another post, people appear to be posing for selfies with those in uniform. After the breach, 1,100 D.C. National Guard troops were deployed, and hundreds of federal law enforcement officers were sent in to assist. Compare that to June, when around 5,000 guardsmen and 1,600 active duty troops were brought to the D.C. area in advance of protests following the death of George Floyd.
If this were a group of young people who was organizing under the banner Black Lives Matter, we would have seen triple the number of law enforcement.
Derek Johnson is the president of the NAACP.
It was irresponsible to put lawmakers in danger the way law enforcement agencies did today. But it's equitable when you compare what we've seen all summer, peaceful protests, and a response that was not consistent.
Gaynor says those who did break into the Capitol could now face felony charges.
There's some pretty clear pictures of people in hallways and hanging from the walls in the Senate chambers. Beware. I hope we're coming for you.
Police say 52 people were arrested in all, 26 people arrested here on Capitol grounds, and that is a number that will go up because there will be more arrests in the coming days. In the past, President Trump has characterized on Twitter Black Lives Matter protesters as thugs. Wednesday, he called the mobs who breached the Capitol building great patriots who've been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Jeff Begay, CBS News, Washington.
All right, let's lighten things up. Up next, we're going to take your pet calls today for veterinarian Dr. Carrie Donahue.
If you have a question, call now. The number is 270-9933. We'll take your calls right after the break when Live at 4 continues.
It's your last chance for the New Year's mattress deals at Ashley Home Store. Save up to 65% off doorbuster mattresses like these, in stock and available now. Plus, get your choice of free Apple gifts with purchase of select mattresses and free quick ship delivery only at Ashley Home Store.
Everything is relative. Travel, for example. A trip to Stoughton might seem like a long way, but if you're shopping for diamonds, it's closer than you think.
Diamond Select.
Importers of shimmering diamonds from the mines of South Africa to the streets of Antwerp and Tel Aviv. They shop the diamond capitals of the world so you don't have to.
Diamond Select. Direct pricing saves you money.
On GIA certified South African diamonds.
Diamond Select.
Downtown Stoughton.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
Carrier has a complete line of home heating products to keep your family comfortable this winter without burning your budget. With smart temperature management and remote access options, it's easier than ever to control your home's climate. And Carrier energy-efficient systems can help reduce utility bills without sacrificing comfort. For more complete comfort and greater peace of mind, turn to your Carrier expert.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
When it comes
to 2020, it's time to wipe the slate clean and get a fresh start now at Herzing University. Earn the degree you need for a lasting career. Herzing is accredited, transfer-friendly, and offers you the personal care and support so important during these times. We'll even waive your enrollment fee. A new year, a new career. You've got a clean slate. I'm possible at Herzing. Call or click today.
It's your last chance for the Ashley Home Store New Year's sale. Shop exclusive deals through Tuesday only, including doorbusters available for immediate pickup and delivery, plus interest-free financing for 5 years, and a bonus 5% discount off our sale prices. Only at Ashley Home Store.
Well, traffic right now looking pretty good. Beltline, not seeing any major delays there. In fact, traffic moving right at the posted speed limits on the Beltline, I-39, 90, and 94 on the east side of Madison. I-39, 90 down to the state line, no problems. I-94 toward Milwaukee and US 12 into southeastern Wisconsin at the posted speed limits, as are the highways north of Madison. I-39 into central Wisconsin, 90, 94 through the Dells, and US 151 through Beaver Dam. That is your news 3 now for Sworn Traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. Here's some good news for a change. The popular Puppy Bowl is going on as scheduled. Puppy Bowl 17 will premiere on Discovery Plus and Animal Planet on February 7th. Team Ruff and Team Fluff will face off in a 3-hour event with a kitty halftime show. 70 puppies from 22 different shelters will participate in the game. All of the animals featured are up for adoption, and past games have had a 100% adoption rate.
Oh, that is such good news.
Looking forward to that.
We have to get your new puppy watching that.
We'll get out and watching.
Speaking of, it's time to get your pet questions answered.
The number to call, 270-9933. Dr. Carrie Donahue of Full Circle Holistic Veterinary Care is standing by. Hi, Carrie.
Hello.
Hi, Carrie.
Oh, and there he is. There she is.
Happy. Yes, she's here too.
All right, we got plenty of calls, so we'll start with Melody. Hi, Melody. What's your question?
So my question is, I have background for 16 years working in dentistry, so teeth are very important to me, and I do clean my dog's teeth on my own. But anyway, he had his 4 canines broke the tips off from a toy. Very unfortunate, at no fault of mine. But anyway, now the lower right canine continues to chip further and further, and there's only maybe half of it left. It breaks my heart. It's very sharp. Can anything be done about it at this point?
Oh my gosh. You know, I think the best thing to do is just have it evaluated by your veterinarian. But of course, you keeping an eye on it at home, looking at the gums, looking for any discoloration, any redness, any swelling, any discharge, which I'm sure you have been doing. But probably the next best step at some point would be to have that tooth removed, because if it's cracked off, then it is a source for potential infection.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the call.
Good luck to you. Let's go to Bev. You're up next. What's your question?
Hi. I'd like to know how safe CBD oil is for dogs, like older dogs, like that have a bit of arthritis. What are the side effects of it, if any?
Well, that's a great question. And, you know, the thing is, more people are looking into CBD oil for themselves and for their pets, and it's actually very, very safe. So, you know, usually I do recommend it for older dogs. I haven't actually seen any negative side effects from CBD oil. The biggest thing is just getting your pet to take it. So you can find it in treat form, you can find it in the oil itself, but I think it's a great supplement for older dogs and can really help with arthritis and inflammation.
But and CBD designed for dogs, right? Not human.
Right. I usually recommend finding a specific brand that is made for pets. Although, you know, if you are working with a veterinarian, you can figure out a dosage of the human CBD oil for pets, but I would definitely talk to somebody about doing that.
Okay, let's go to Mari. Hi, what's your question?
Hi, I have 2 Italian Greyhounds, and one of them has a lot of trouble keeping on weight. What can I do?
Oh, okay. Oh, I love those Italian Greyhounds. They're wonderful dogs, but yeah, they're so muscular and they can be so thin. Usually what I recommend to get dogs to gain weight is to add in carbohydrates with the food that you're feeding. So what you might even think about doing is adding in something like oatmeal, you know, or some other source of carbohydrate. You know, you could do rice or something like that. Just very, very simple. And sometimes that's enough to put weight on safely.
Okay.
Yes, and that's how he was grown up.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you. Let's go to Tracy. Hi, Tracy, you're next. What's your question?
Hi, yeah, I have a 6-year-old Siamese, and he has real high anxiety issues. It's been since his brother passed away about 3 years ago, but I've tried to plug in pheromones. That doesn't help. I've tried special cat food with like that tryptophan or whatever in it. That hasn't helped. Just any ideas for his anxiety?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that you have tried those things. And as I just mentioned earlier, CBD oil might be something to try. It's something that I recommend quite a bit. And for cats, usually finding it in a treat form is easier to get them to take than the oil itself. So that might be something to try. And if that's just not enough, there are medications that you can also use to help with severe anxiety.
All right, let's go to Al now. Hi, Al. What's your question?
Oh, I already told the guy something what it was.
All right, you want to know when to switch the kitten to adult food, all right?
Right, kind of, yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and usually I recommend making the change from kitten or even puppy food to adult food at around 9 to 12 months of age. Once they've really kind of stopped their active growing cycle and once they kind of get to, once they reach adulthood, which is close to a year. So I think it would be safe to stay on kitten food until a year of age.
All right.
All right. Very good. Let's go to Dennis. Hi, Dennis. What's your question?
Yeah, I have a 12-year-old Yorkie.
Oh.
And suddenly she has to go out constantly, like every hour or so, and even through the night, she'll have to go 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night. And I'm wondering what's going on there.
Okay. That's a common thing when dogs have bladder infections or urinary tract infections. So that would be the first thing that I would say to do is get a urine sample, take it into your vet, and just check for infection because that makes them want to go to the bathroom frequently. And just have it evaluated and see if there's infection, inflammation, or even crystals or stones that might be going on that might be causing that.
Okay, that can be treated.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good questions today. Thank you all for calling in. Carrie, thank you. Happy New Year. It's the first time we've seen you.
Great to see you, Carrie.
Poppy, happy. We all love that little dog. All right.
Oh, thank you. Me too.
We'll see you later. We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back, inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Looks like a great day for achy, burning eyes.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Ha! These drops probably won't touch me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra? No!
It can provide lasting relief.
Oh.
Xiidra is the only FDA-approved treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye, twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Talk to an eye doctor about twice daily Xiidra.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Xiidra. Not today, dry eye.
Spread holiday cheer and save more than ever at the Century House. Right now, give $50 or more to charity and get $400 off stressless Mayfair recliners in all Paloma leather colors and $300 off most other stressless recliners. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. 'Tis the season to give a little and save big on stressless furniture. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
To most people, the idea of fighting is unpleasant, but sometimes it's necessary to fight. If you or your family has been injured, you'll want a good law firm on your side to make things right again. Habish, Habish & Rotier. We fight for what's right.
This day is our day! This moment is our moment! Let's take the next step!
Hey folks, Friday morning we'll have overnight developments from Washington, and Friday is decision day for Madison schools. The superintendent will announce plans to move forward. We'll make sure you're prepared. Join us from 4:30 to 7 Friday morning.
Well, visibility still are in pretty good shape. A few places dropping a bit. Monroe down to 5-mile visibility. Janesville's back up to 10 miles. So just some light fog out there. Temperatures right now, upper 20s to lower 30s. Janesville 30, Madison 29, the Dells 28. And as we look at the day planner for tomorrow, look for temperatures to start out in the lower 20s. There could be some fog or freezing fog into early tomorrow morning. Then look for a high of 28 as skies remain mostly cloudy through the rest of the day. And that trend will continue into the weekend.
All right, Gary, thank you. Speaking of tomorrow, here on Live at 4, our K9 correspondents Lola and Louie have the best animal stories of the week. And Michael Bruno goes behind the screens showcasing one of Madison's favorite bands, Harmonious Whale. It's all coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.